Hi guys, welcome back. In this one we're going to be taking a look at how we can switch between different Python versions on Windows. So basically I'll be focusing more on the Windows platform for this particular video. So if you guys are using Linux, the concepts are relatively the same, but we won't be jumping into the Linux version in this particular video. In the next videos I will talk about how you can actually do that in Linux. So what I have here on my local computer, I have basically three different kinds of Pythons installed. I have Anaconda 3, which is basically a data science version of Python with all the data science related packages. Then I also have another Python version, which is Python 2.7 and Python 3.60. So if you already have Python 3, then you can actually leverage on a handy little utility called PyCommand, which allows you basically to toggle between different Python versions. So in order to toggle, take note, you have to have Python 3 installed in order for you to be able to do this. So in order for me to switch between different Python versions, all I need to do is just type in pi-2, and that actually switches to my Python version 2.7. But this is actually opening up my interpreter via this particular shell. Then I can actually execute commands here. But this might not be feasible if you actually wanted to run a script. So if you wanted to run a script, what you'd have to do is let's just exit here. Let's create a simple little program inside my package here called Django projects here. So I have a Py version here, so just go ahead and create a new script here, and I'll just call it hello world just for illustration. So we'll just call this hello world.py, and what we will do is basically just write a small little simple program here. Go print, and let's just put hello world. Okay, that's all we're going to do in our script here. So in order for us to be able to run this, I'll type in pi2, and I will append the actual script, which is hello world, and I'll execute that. So that will run hello world. So this is how you can actually use Python version 2 in order to run your basic Python script here, and I could do the same thing for Py3. So if I type in Py3, you'll notice that it will actually switch to Anaconda version 3.4, which I already have installed here on my computer. So let's just exit that and type in Py3 again, and we'll type in hello world, and that will just execute our program here. But notice that it's saying missing parenthesis. That's because in Python 3 we need to have parenthesis. So let's just go ahead and tweak a little program here and put some brackets and save that, and we can go ahead and actually execute our program here using Python 3, and we have hello world, which is printed out. So that's how we can switch between different Python versions if we are using Python 3, and that's already pre-configured for us on our local computer. Right, so now that we've taken a look at how we can actually do that using the PyCommand, then how do we do that for our Django project? So let's say you have different kind of Django projects and you want to be able to interchange between different Python versions. What we can do is we can leverage on the Python virtual environment. So what we can do is just go ahead and create our virtual environment. And the only difference between how we create our virtual environment now, normally you just type in the name of the virtual environment, so I'll just call it virtual environment as well. But the additional thing that you need to do is you need to type in -p, and -p actually is the same thing as type in -python. And what we want to do here is we want to explicitly define the location of the Python version that we want to use, and I'll just type in Python exe here. So what we'll do is when we create our virtual environment, it will actually create our virtual environment based on Python version 2.7. So right now it's actually installing the wheels and setup tools. So we just let it run its course. So once it's done installing, then we already have our virtual environment. So we can actually toggle our virtual environment here, and we'll actually be using basically Python version 2. So I'm just going to go ahead and run the program again, and we'll type in hello world, so it prints out hello world. So I'm going to go ahead and delete the virtual environment, and we will recreate the virtual environment based on Python 3. So let's just go ahead and clear that off. And what I'll do here is we'll run the same command again, but this time we will call Python version 3, and what we'll do here is let's fire up the command so it creates the virtual environment. So once that is done, let's go ahead and actually toggle our virtual environment. So I had originally toggled it, so I did not untoggle it. So I'll just go ahead and toggle it and untoggle it back again. So I'll deactivate it and I will reactivate it back again, just to make sure that everything's okay. So .bat, and let's go ahead and run our Python program again. So I'm just going to go ahead and remove these curly brackets here to ensure that we are really using Python version 3 and it's being detected. So you'll notice that it's complaining about the missing parenthesis. So our virtual environment is working. We're using Python version 3. So let's just go back again and add these curly brackets since we're using Python version 3. And let's execute our hello world again. So there we go. That's how we can actually switch between different Python versions, either using the py command that's based on Python version 3, or we're using the virtual environment. So there's actually another way to actually change your Python version on Windows, of course, is through the environmental variables. So whenever you install your Python, it will be located within your environmental variables. So if you want to find out where that is located, you need to actually go to your My Computer, click on Properties, and we want to go to Advanced Settings and go to the environmental variables. And what you want to look for here is you want to look for the path. So let's open up the path here and let's just copy this out here. And what we want to do is we just want to take a look and see what's inside the path. So if you notice at the bottom here, we have whenever you run your installation wizard for Python, it will actually create a new entry inside your path. And this is the actual path that you can see here, which is pointing to basically the root of the Python directory here, and as well as the script directory here. So what you'd want to do is to actually change these two entries here to actually point to your default Python version that you want to use. That could be the Anaconda version, or that could be the Python version 3 that you have installed on your local computer. So all you need to do is just like change these two values here, copy back the whole thing and add it back to your path basically that you have here. So you want to edit it again, paste it back, click OK, then close up everything and close up your terminal window again here and reopen it up again. So when you do that, you'll notice that the default version of Python, if you just go ahead and type in Python here, what it'll do is it'll show you the default version. Since I'm in my virtual environment, it's actually showing me version 3.6. So let's say I untoggle. So let's go ahead and basically untoggle this, type in deactivate. And what happens if I type in Python version, you'll notice it's back again to 2.7. So 2.7 is the default based on my environmental variable path here that we've set up. So that's pretty much it. That's how we can actually toggle between different Python versions. I hope you guys enjoyed this particular quick tutorial that allows you to be able to switch between different Python versions for your different projects. If you like this particular video, do you subscribe and do you comment if you have any questions. I'll see you guys in the next lesson.